Huzzah! I think we have launch. Let us see. Oh, well, we got part of the way there. Let's see. I can figure this part out. One moment. Okay, so let's see. So you want to be. Uh, I realized that OBS had crashed. And had not looked like it crashed, and that was causing problems. Uh, so kind of. Let's see. One moment. I have to make it so you can actually see something. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Properties. Okay, so I would like you to look at that puzzle. Thank you. Okay. And I would like you to look at that puzzle. Okay. Woohoo. I have a grid. Let's go. The microphone works. We'll see if the thing. Yeah, that is what I had to do, is to kill the process. And then when I reloaded it, it was like, I was very unhappy. Would you like me to be happy again? And I clicked the button yes, and then it kind of worked, but then I had to relook a bunch of things. All right, so funnily enough, so today's most voted for puzzle was not this one, because it turned out it was a puzzle that Tristan had done that had survived in the bucket after Tristan did it. So somehow I recognized that. And so we're going to start with this puzzle instead. So now this is the most voted on puzzle by supporters. So this puzzle has been voted for by Nordy, Paulfly, Luda, Russ, Math Pesto, Alathana, David, and and David. There we go. So thank you all for your support. And yeah, let's have a look at this. And welcome back, AAA Battery. Great to see you again. I hope things have been good for you, at least. Okay, so let's read the rules here, because I don't know what is going on. Although if you saw last stream, you might be worried that this giant killer cage is going to crash the ever living bejesus out of Sudoku Pad, but it seems to not be crashing Sudoku Pad. But last puzzle we did had some 12 cell killer cages that Sudoku Pad was trying very hard to compute all the possibilities for, and was not doing well at. Okay, so we have normal Sudoku rules. Great. Digits in a circle appear at least once in the surrounding cell. So these are called quadruples. So that's sort of normal quadruple rules. Adjacent digits on a green line differ by at least 5. So that's normal German whisper rules, although there are a bunch of very short German whispers. We must shade some cells. Sorry, I lost track. Shade some cells in the grid so that all shaded cells are orthogonally connected and all unshaded cells are orthogonally connected. A 2x2 area cannot be fully shaded nor fully unshaded. Within the cage, all digits less than 5 are shaded, and all digits greater than 5 are unshaded. A 5 can be shaded or unshaded. Okay, so basically this is a quasi yin yang, except no, it is just a yin yang. It is just a yin yang, but also there's a 5 border thing going on. Okay, so I suggest that we start with some of the standard whisper stuff, or sorry, some of the standard quadruple stuff. So these two quadruples both have the digit 4, for example. And so that tells me that the 4s in column 7 and 8 go there. And so there's a 4 up here. And I could do the same thing with 6s in column 2 and 3. Our friend, the Zach Wing, as it is known. Let's see. Well, the 4 certainly isn't there. I think that could be a 4. I can do like a weird... is the shading true everywhere except for the 5s, or is the shading... No, the shading is only true in the thing, right? Within the cage, yes. Okay, so yeah, so things match their high-lowity. So I'm going to choose neutral colors. uh, like this. Now, the yin-yang rules are true everywhere, and so one consequence of the yin-yang rules that's not clear is that I can't have a checkerboard. So in other words, I can't make this cell yellow. Because if I do, then because the yellows are connected, I'm going to have to connect this yellow to this yellow somehow, like say that. But the problem is now in so doing, this purple has become separated from its buddy over there. So what that means is these cells are both purple, but that doesn't tell me anything about the digits. So I have to keep track of the fact that those are both purple, but it doesn't tell me anything about the digits. Okay. So I can do something of that sort. Well, the yellow has to get out for sure. So that cell's going to be yellow at the very least. Let's see. Do I know anything else about anything? Let's see. Because the box doesn't have to have any particular number of yellow cells or anything. Yeah, it's still a full yin yang. We just don't have so like this. It looks to me like this 4 and 6 are trying to suggest in my mind that there's some sort of border rule I'm supposed to use, but I can't use any sort of border rule with the 4s and 6s, specifically because the shading doesn't apply to the 4s and 6s, which is a little bit weird. Okay, so these two cells are the same color because the shading rule does apply to them, and that color can't be yellow if you look at it. Because if that color was yellow, then I would rule yellow off of these two cells on the whisper entirely. And I need a high and a low in any pair of digits on the whisper. So these are purple, and that is yellow. Just to sort of continue our thing. Oh, right. It could be a 5. Right. If this is exactly 5, then it still works out, right? Because this can be 5. Well, that's cumbersome. So I guess it's worth noting either this is a 1-4 pair or these are a 1-4 pair because 1 and 4 are the same color. Is this being a 1-4 pair break? For some reason that I don't immediately see. I mean, of course, if this is a 1-4 pair, that would be the 1 and that would be the 4. I don't immediately see a reason why that should break. Okay, Todd has a point that if I look at this 4-7, I can't put both the 4 and the 7 on this whisper, because if I put the 4 on either end of this, and I can never put the 4 in the middle because it would go next to 2 9s, but if I put the 4 on the end, the high digit is a 9, and then this digit's low. So if I put the 4 on, I can't put the 7 on. So this digit's always 4 or 7. And exactly the same thing applies here. This digit's always 3 or 6. I don't quite know what to do with that, but it's true. It's a cool observation. If these two are yellow, that digit is 5, and these two digits are 1, 4. For whatever that is worth. Oh. No, never mind. Sorry. I was excited to think that I needed to put a 5 over here because of the fact that there's only 4 purples normally, but these two don't apply. The shading rule doesn't apply to them. So I can't actually conclude that, even though I was very excited by it, as you could tell for a moment there. What else shall we? Okay, so Yeah, that could just be a 7 with that being a 4. What is the joke here? Is there somewhere I can say something about 5s? Well, I guess the point is I actually know the 5 in this cage is sort of around the border like this. And maybe I'm supposed to do some sort of argument about row 1 and column 1 because this quadruple gave me a not 5 digit. So there's a 5 out here and a 5 out here. I don't really think I get anything interesting about 5s in either of these places, though, which I think I would need in order to rule out like 5 from the corner or something like that, is what it sort of like feels like the deduction wants to be. But I don't think I can quite do that. I guess when I said these are a 1-4 pair, these are a 1-4 pair, that's not quite true. It could be that these are a 1-4 pair and that's the 5. Oh, I see. Okay, so Isabella makes a point that if I put the 4-7, the other 4-7 here, that is actually quite interesting. Because if I put the other 4-7 here, I know that these two things are different colors. And so if I make that, say, orange and green, then I know that this goes orange, green, orange around the bend, and that creates a checkerboard, which I'm not allowed to have. So I can't put the 4-7 there or there. So the other 4-7 actually goes here. And that's actually very nice because that tells me that this can't be a 4 because that would make both of these 9. So this digit is a 7. And we will bring out Big Z for the 7 dance, one of the ones he's been working on. Woo! Thank you, Big Z. Thank you, Big Z. Greatly appreciate your contributions. Happy again to help the penguin community by having our penguin intern. Oh, I should probably, the fact that this is a 7 probably doesn't mean that's a 7. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, and exactly the same argument applies down here. The 7 dance has always been inspired by the Hokey Pokey. Oh yeah, not 3. Of course, not 3. So these 3 are all the same color for what it's worth. But also, same argument here. If I put the other 3-6 there or there, it creates a checkerboard. So the other 3-6 goes here, but it can't actually be a 6. So that's a 3, and that's a 6. And these are an 8-9 pair. So all of these, I'll just note somehow, these are all one color. So, oh, I guess I now know one of these two cells is a 4 just by sudoku of all things. Let's see, and I know one of, oh, I see. Here's a much better point. One of these two is a 6. I wonder which one. And the answer is that this is a 6 because I can't put the 6 in the middle. And it has to go on the quadruple. And so 6 only goes next to 1. And so this is 7, 8, 9. Selena proposing we restart the purple-yellow coloring over here. We can do that. Okay, so we'll make this blue and these orange. Okay, and yeah, since shaded and unshaded are symmetrical anyway, I'll just use blue and orange, and then we won't have to think about the the choices that Math Pesto has made about which one counts as shaded. Let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if the 4 goes here, does that possibly tell me anything about that? I think Selena is saying one of these two cells is orange and one of these two cells is blue. Yeah, Eckbert, I fell for that earlier, but the 5s are allowed to be orange. So we don't actually have the oranges accounted for in row 5 because this Oh, no. Sorry. No. You're completely right. These are the real oranges. So these cells are all from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that one's not a 1. And in fact, actually, I know one of these two is a 2. So one of these is 7, 8, 9, and one of these is 7, 8, 9. So yeah, one of these two at least is orange. One of these two at least is blue. And that's because if neither of these is blue, then it makes a checkerboard. Oh, this cell just can't be blue. That's the point. This cell can't be blue because if this cell is blue, I'll pull out the bifurcation palette. If this cell is blue, now I can't make that cell blue because it'll be a 2 by 2, and I can't make this cell blue because going this way around, so that won't be a 2 by 2. So because the border of a yin-yang puzzle has only one splotch of blue and one splotch of orange, which is a connectivity thing, that would mean there's no blue anywhere on the border outside of this box. But that would mean these are both orange. Okay. And the reminder there is that in a yin-yang puzzle, if you try and have sort of two separate runs of blue in the border, you have to connect them. And in the process of connecting them, you separate orange. Okay. So this cell I just proved for you is not blue. Sorry, is not blue. This cell is demonstrably orange. And we can do a similar thing, I believe. Oh, no, we can't because this whisper goes the other way around. Oh, this cell is orange. I had not at any point during this discussion realized that this cell was orange. This cell being orange is rather big because... yeah, so I proved this, and it was like, wow, that's like really sophisticated, and I'm surprised that it worked out that way, but I'm glad Selena saw that. But actually what Selena saw was that this cell is orange. And so my orange either goes around this way or goes around this way, and it can't go around this way. It makes my beautiful point not needed. Yeah, I mean, it really surprises me that the color of this cell is forced just by this pattern and this little bit. Like, that would have been a really cool step if that were intended. But anyway, yeah, so the orange can't connect around this way because it would create a 2 by 2 of orange, actually multiple of them. So the orange has to connect to the orange around this way. And now we know this orange, if we sort of continue this direction, we know it makes it at most this far. Actually, sorry, it can't even make it that far because if this is orange... then I actually get a 2 by 2 there. So this is now blue. So we get that. So we at least now know that this is blue. And now... hello.
Hey, chat. How's stream going?
Going well. I managed to unbreak it. It broke pretty badly, but I don't know what happened, but it got fixed.
What broke?
OBS like would not work and gave me some error that I sent you a picture of, but
I was in a meeting.
yeah, I originally said I'll just move stream until Tristan is home, but then I figured it out by poking around and figuring out that OBS had done something bad.
All right.
All right.
You got
So,
everything you need.
yep.
All right. See you, Chad.
Everybody sent their love to Tristan. Okay, no 2x2. How about that? And no 2x2 there either. So this is orange because this is the opposite side. I see what people are talking about with the no 2x2. I felt like I could probably blue a bunch of this, but I don't think I can yet blue it. This cell's always blue because one of these is 2. And so if this is 2, of course it's blue. And if this is 2, then of course this cell is also blue because of the checkerboard thing. So actually the fact that one of these is 2 tells me that's always blue, which is a weird point, but true, I suppose. Let's see. This is blue by no checkerboard. Several people in chat point out. Thank you. Let's see. We get to play the, like, what on earth can you actually say with this border rule version? Yeah, it only snuck up on me this morning that I have a stream 300 coming up. So, like, I was kind of like, it's probably way too late to ask people to make puzzles for stream 300. It might not be too late for me to ask someone to guest for stream 200. I might do something for stream 350 with people making puzzles or something like that, just because I kind of missed the window on that one. You want a border between the colors. Why would I want to draw a border between the colors? We'll just do stream 301 next, and then stream 300 after that. How about that? Okay, and I know that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I know that this is 2 or 4. Oh, I am told that this is not blue. Right, because if this is blue, again, this goes blue, orange, and we've created a checkerboard. So this can't be blue. So this has to be orange, and that has to be blue, and this has to be orange. Hey, Shwal, how are you doing? Okay, and now I have to avoid a checkerboard here still, so that has to be orange. Let's see. Okay, so this number here is at least a 2, so these are certainly from 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the checkerboarding around the bent whisper lines is really clever. Okay. This can't escape. Oh, right. Yeah. This definitely can't escape through row 8 because I would have to put 6 blues into the row for this to escape through row 8 now. So it escapes up there. Great spot, Martin. Okay. So this is the other 2, 4. And in fact, okay, so, oh, sorry, no, this is 2 or 5 is what this is. I have to keep reminding myself of the weirdnesses of this rule set. This is allowed to be 5 because it's blue and it's in the box, but it's not on a whisper line. Sadly, that's not how the rules work, Nicholas. I kind of wish it was, because it is confusing me that the rules do not work that way, and I'm having to be extra, extra, extra careful. But it is not, sadly, true, because the things outside the cage, like this could be low, that could be high, etc. Let's see. And this can be 2, 3, 4. It is very malicious to have cells outside the cage. Okay. There's a blue thing going on with the fact that if I guess I can make this cell orange. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't put 2 more oranges in these cells, because if they touched, it would be an immediate 2 by 2, and if they were there, then they would go there. So I can't put 2 more orange cells in here. So there's at least 2 blue cells in here. So that gets me to 5 blue cells. So what Martin is saying is that there's definitely a 5 in blue in row 8. So like one of these cells is a 5. But yeah, I don't think there's anything I know for sure about these, other than like at least one of these is blue and at least one of these is blue, but I think there's a couple ways that can end up working out. This puzzle will break, chat. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I know the sort of the real highs are gone in this row. Oh, right. That does mean the oranges outside are legitimately high. Oh, Lord. Talk about deductions that are just like the most... Concluding that 2 orange cells in your whisper puzzle are high is such a sad deduction. But yes, you're right. There are 5 blues, so it must be the 4 real low digits and the 5. So that means that these digits are definitely 6, 8, 9, is Martin's point, and I agree. Let's see. But yeah, I totally get Math Pesto's point that like this just definitely would not work if you did not do something like this, because of the border stuff. Like the border stuff would sort of instantly break if you try to do this. Yeah, these are sort of like imposter oranges. Yeah, is one way to think about it. Okay, well, there's definitely a high and a low there. I don't know which high. Yeah, we could go for a different shade of orange for the outside ones just to indicate this. Let's see. There we go. That looks like a different enough shade of orange. And then we can make this... oh no, my custom color palette is gone for some reason. I have no idea what happened to my custom color palette. Well, we'll use that for the moment. Okay. So Doomdiat, how are you doing? This orange, this is blue. And one of these is 5. There's not really a built-in second color that I would describe as anything like orange, unfortunately. Uh, it's a real shame, but yeah, the colors are what they are. Yeah, blood orange is a good name for it. Uh, well, that's the thing, AFK. I had a custom color palette, but it's gone. Uh, and I don't want to mess it up. I assume it'll come back if I like hit reload or something, but I'm not going to do it right in this moment. Sadly, no, Thomas, because this outside blue isn't a real blue. It's a fake blue. Only stuff in the cage behaves with blues and oranges. Other things have a color, but the color doesn't mean anything, which is very unfortunate. I guess I guess the 5 in here is... No, human flesh is a built-in Sudoku pad color, so don't worry. Human flesh is still here. Although it has been pointed out that we could have a more racially diverse collection of human fleshes in one of the palettes in Sudoku Pad, which I do think would be good. But somehow that has not risen to the top of the priority list for people doing for people doing Sudoku Pad development. So yeah, well, one of these definitely is a 5, I suppose. Because I need to put a 5 in the row somewhere. And so that 5 could be blue or orange. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Nemafish has a great point, which is these two cells can't both be blue. So one of them has to be a 5. And if one of them is a 5, that means this cell is not a 5. And therefore means this cell is blue. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. And yes, one of these is an orange 5. Okay. So yeah, there's a orange 5 in here somewhere. I don't really want to mark the 5 across the border. But we'll do it. It's being claimed now that if I make this cell blue, or sorry, if I make this cell orange, we get too many blues. But remember, these cells are fake. The problem isn't the number. The problem is the shape. Wait, is that the problem? Yeah. The problem is the orange gets trapped. Okay, so yeah, so just to show you what we did at the beginning, we gave this a color, gave these a color, and then noted by checkerboarding that these are the color. And so the point here is that if yellow is orange, then it's now trapped on all sides. So that is the point here. But Selena made me erase the coloring, so we could not do that. So, but we'll bring it back. So there we go. And so these are orange, except these are the fake orange. Yes, right. We know there's a blue over there, so this is orange just by perimeter stuff. Okay. This is a 2. These are 7, 8, 9. I don't know if I care about that. Okay, so there is a 3. Oh, sorry, the 3 could be there. But these numbers, I guess if they're low, they're 3. Well, this one's not a 3. Okay, so this cell exactly is either a 5 or it's high, because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4 in various combinations of ways, which is not the most useful deduction that I've ever made. Also, welcome, Chip. I hope you're doing well. I do know that one of these two cells is orange, at least. Yeah, they can't both be orange. And they can't both be blue. So these are a blue-orange pair, or a blanche pair, as Ransk would say. Because of the fact that blue, we can't fit all the blue digits in the universe under here. Yeah, that I highly doubt that was the intended observation, but we'll use it if it proves helpful. Is that this 2 years ago? So if this is blue, that's blue. Because of the checkerboard thing. So yeah, I guess maybe I should just go back to these 3 cells are all the same color. And so if that color is orange, then every cell in the column is blue other than those. I don't know if that immediately breaks. But these things are all, I suppose I will color this in. That is one thing. That is another. Okay, and so so yellow equals orange traps blue. Yeah, so that's the point, is if yellow, yeah, so if yellow is orange, then because blue can't get out this way, then blue can't get out this way either. And so this blue would get trapped and couldn't connect to its friends up there. Okay, so the yellow is not orange. Yellow is blue. Oops. Yellow is blue. Purple is orange. Means that's blue. So that's orange. Means that's orange by checkerboarding. Means this is blue because otherwise this blue doesn't connect. Now this needs, oh no, sorry, this doesn't need to be orange. I just need something there to be orange for this orange to connect. This is blue. Because of the checkerboard. So this is orange to avoid catastrophe. This is orange to avoid a 2x2. This is orange, so that's blue. So that's blue. Now, this blue has to escape through here. There's no other way. So I actually get that all of these are fake blue. This is fake orange. Okay, that is real blue. So that's real orange. That's real orange. Now, I knew something about the 5 in row 5 that I don't remember what it was. I think I knew that it was either blue or orange. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So these have to be, sorry, this can't be 5 because there's only 4 blues in the row. So the 5 in this row is orange is the point now. And so it goes there. Okay, and now this is blue. It's fake blue. But now the blue has to connect like that over there. So we get that combination. And so that is real orange. Oh, sorry. This blue is also real blue. Sorry, I shouldn't make fun of the blues that behave correctly. Yes, this box is entirely real colors. And so because this box is entirely real colors, the 5 is blue, and so it can only go there. This is a real blue to avoid a 2x2. This is a real orange to avoid a 2x2. Okay, so now where does the 5 go in column 2, given that these are 5 legitimate blues, and this one can't be 5 anymore. So that has to be a 5, which means that this is the other 2, 4. And it's not a 2 because of the quadruple. So in fact, that's a 4. So that's a 2. And that's actually the 2 on the quadruple, speaking of the quadruple, which makes that a 4. I realize I did that in a completely ridiculous way, but that's okay. That's what we do around here. So these aren't 2. That one's not a 4. That one's not a 4 either. These are now a 7, 8, 9 triple. I say just for the record. These are now a 1, 3 pair because, they're from 1, 3, 5. That one's not a 5. That one's not a 1. 1 is on the quad. So that's a 1, Vish points out. So I will keep hitting 4 and wonder why it's not working. So this is a 6, 8, or 9. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 3, I suppose. But that gives me a 1, 3 pair in the row, which makes this a 4 with a double 9. We now have. And so this is the 2. And we know this is a 7, 8, 9 as well. It's not a 9. So it's a 7 or 8. Okay. 3 in this row is somewhere. This is a real honest low number. 2 is placed in box 8, several in chat point out, because 2 can't go in the real orange. So 2 is there. And then we can also look at where 2 goes in this box, I suppose, although it looks to me like it goes in a lot of places. Okay, so this is a 7, 8, or a 9 for what it's worth. Yeah, the 3 in row 4, it lives in one of the ends, I suppose. Yeah, and in fact, the 3 in box 4, I can even pencil mark pretty easily. It's sort of an equally valid point, but I have a hard time marking that one of these is 3. But I have an easy time marking that one of these is 3. And so one of these 2 cells is 3. Just to note that. Yes, okay. there's a 1, 2, 4 hidden triple in column 9, Todd points out, because the 1, 2, and 4 are all of these. So this is a 1, 2, 4, which is a very good spot. Okay, which means that this is a 3 or a 5. I guess I already knew that literally by looking at it, but we'll pretend I didn't, and then it will seem more insightful. That is also a 1, 2, or a 4. That's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, for what it's worth. Yes. Okay. So 57 Thorns points out that actually these cells, if I write them in, are a 7, 8, 9 triple. And so what that means is this cell is definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, and so it's blue. And in fact, only 3 and 4 are options. So we will fill that in. Okay, and now these are a blue-orange pair again. Okay, that is a great point from Joel. Whereas the 7 in column 2 can... Oh, wait, no, sorry, the 7 can go there, because this is a fake blue. So yeah, the 7 goes in one of those, but unfortunately it can go here. As usual, says it can't go here. Yes. Okay, yeah. So Juan is asking, okay, so where is this 8, 9 in column 2? And the answer is it only goes there, which now means this is a 7. Right. Okay. So the 7 in this box is actually in the real orange. That is true. One of these two cells is a 6. Points out AFK. So this cell's never a 6. Right. Okay, that's not a 7. Is AFK's point. So when I said before 7 goes in one of these 3 cells, it doesn't go in that one. So that means 7 is in one of those 2 cells, and that's going to do a lot of damage because now that can't be a 7, so it's an 8. That can't be a 7 or an 8, so it's a 9. That's the 7. That's the 8. I'm shocked, by the way, that this turned out to be an 8 and not a 7. 9 over there. That's a 7, 8 pair in column 3. Several in chat, David and Laura point out. So that's a 9 and an 8 and a 9. So I guess one of these two is a 9, although that's not going to tell me an enormous amount. Actually, it'll get me something. Oh, actually, Sven even knows which one. And now the 9 pointing up here can't go there, so the 9 goes there. Okay, and now that's a 9. So the high digit on this is a 7. So that's not a 7, and this is a 7. And this is a 7 with a 1 or a 2. I know that because all the other digits are gone that could be the high digit on this, which now makes this a 5 because this now sees every real high digit, which makes that a 3 and a 5 over there. This digit can only be a 6 or an 8, I believe. This column is missing well, one of the digits is missing as a 3, so it's there. Seems to place a 3 there, if I believe my pencil marks. And the other is a 6, which seems to go there. That makes that an 8. Good. Okay, so now 6 goes in one of these cells, but it can't go in a blue cell, so the 6 is placed there. And now 6 goes there and there, just continuing the Sudoku. That is a 7, because it's the only digit left in the box. There seems to be only one digit left in column 7. Laura and David are all over. It seems to be a 6. Which makes that an un-6 digit. Let's see. Okay, so this is 1 or 3, and I don't know which one, but I'm just going to mark it. Oops. I'm going to attempt to mark it. Oh, this is 4 or 5, while I am marking things. These are 6, 7, 8, by the way, because 9 and 5 in the column are gone, and they're all legitimate, so that is a 7 or an 8. Box 6 has an octopus, as AFK points out. So this is just a 3, which makes that a 3. Now this is a 7 or an 8 as well. Similar reasoning. These are a pair of 5 and 8, I believe. And that is resolved. So that's an 8 and that's a 5. Which seems to have made that a 7 and a 6. Seems to have made that a 6. And now 8 and 7. So we get a lot of good stuff coming over from there. Okay, I think I can probably mark the rest of the grid while we figure this out. So that's a 1-4 pair, making that an 8 and that a 1 and a 4. 7 and a 1 and a 3. Okay, so now this digit is low because now it's been excluded from everything else, so we can finish the coloring. It's an honest blue, an honest orange. And now we've got all the possible blues in this column. So therefore, this is orange. And now that's blue to avoid a 2x2. And we've finished our coloring. And so now we can fill these digits in, I believe. 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 8, 3, 4, and 1. Very nice. Even if that may have bent my brain in bizarre ways that may cause errors in subsequent puzzles when I try to apply the logic again. But very nice puzzle. Apparently an older puzzle as well. Let's see, when was this published? This was published October of 2022. So quite a ways back in time we have traveled with this one. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back with another puzzle. So see you all in just a moment. All right, welcome back. I have another puzzle that somehow inexplicably is also from October of 2022 by Amnosti. I'm doing an Amnosti puzzle because we promised Amnosti an Amnosti puzzle earlier, and then it got taken away from them because it turned out Tristan had already done it. So I was like, I definitely want to do one. So anyway, Amnosti puzzle for you. Plus the voters voted for it, so you know. Each box contains one black cage. Yeah, we're in the Wayback Machine apparently today. Each box contains one black cage. The sum of these 9 black cages consist of 3 different values, repeated 3 times each. The 3 values are to be determined by the solver. Additionally, considering the 3x3 grid of boxes, no killer cage value repeats in any row or column of boxes. Okay, so like maybe this is the same as that is the same as that, or maybe it's like this, this, and this, or something like that. The same rule applies for the blue cages with 3 different values. Oh, and welcome to new subscriber Heath. Well, the voters haven't voted on a U-Bon in a bit. I'm sure they'll vote on a U-Bon soon. Stacks or bands of boxes. Yeah. Okay. So one of the blue totals is a single digit. Okay. So I guess we should try and mark this. Where does this total show up in row 1? And so it can't be the sum of 5 digits, so it's definitely that one, which means that these all have the same total. And I think as soon as I know that, I think I know the rest of the structure of these. So I think that's yellow, because there's only really 2 Latin squares that are 3x3. And then have those. Yeah, so it's these are all the same. Okay, green. Okay, and now I want to examine. Yeah, so now the point is that these 2 cages can't have the same sum. Because if these 2 cages had the same sum, well, that sum would be 45 by this box and not 45 by this box, and that's a problem. So that means that, in fact, these 2 have the same sum, so the other one with that sum is that one. So then we get to sort of finish this off with, okay, so this one now has the same as that one, has the same sum as that one. So let's see, I've not used orange yet, I suppose. And I guess the last color I have not yet used is blue. Okay, so now we have identified our assorted combinations of these things. So yeah, yellow has got to be pretty big. In fact, yellow just has to be 30, right? Because oh no, yellow could be as low as 8. But you know, Selena, I was setting a puzzle the other day and I was like, how do I use the deduction that this cell is 6 or 8? And I thought of like, I could do a 2 = 5 region sum line, and I didn't do it just for you. Because you had complained about the existence of the this deduction. So the point is, the minimum sum of orange is 15, but the maximum sum is 17. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. But if the maximum of orange is 17, the minimum of yellow is 28. And if you look at 28, you can't do 28 without a 9, or an 8. So you need both a 9 and 8 to get even to 28. So we always have the 8 and the 9 in here. Did I do my math wrong? I thought it was 28. Isn't it 28 AFK? Pink is the sum of 3 digits, so pink is at least 6, is a good point. Red actually also has the 6, 7, 8, 9 business from the same reason, because it's a sum, again, minimum 15, maximum 17. Let's see. And so red is maximum 15. So, oh, right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yellow can't sum to 30 because of this box. Because yellow, we said, sums to minimum 28 plus minimum 15. That's 43. So that means this cell's always a 1 or a 2. But that does mean that yellow actually sums to 28 or 29 only. It does not sum to other totals because of this box, depending on what this is. Okay. It does also mean that red is at most 16. That's right. Oh, right. All the cage totals are different, right? Column 1 total, Doomed Yacht points out. These two sum to okay, so I know that I'm just repeating here. I know that orange isn't, no, I know that red isn't 17. But these are each minimum, I guess you could say these are minimum 31. So blue is maximum 14. But also the minimum of these the maximum of these is 17 plus 16, which is 33. And so the minimum of this is 12. So this is 12, 13, or 14, as Doomed Yacht says. All right. Red is smaller than orange. And so therefore red can't sum to 16. I know red is smaller than orange because orange fills the whole box with yellow and red doesn't. And so therefore there's just no 6 in red. So if purple is 6, oh, I did that backwards. Right, orange is bigger. So orange is the one without the 6. Correct. And has a 9, that's true. Let's see. Yeah, and blue is 12, 13, or 14, so it doesn't have a 1 or a 2 in it for what it's worth. Yeah, all these 6, 7, 8, 9s are interesting. I'm trying to decide, like, if anything interesting happens with this being, like, 1, 2, 3 or something like that. But I don't think it's anything super exciting. It's like this being 1, 2, 3. This could still be 4, 5, 6. When it says with 3 different values, David, I interpret that to mean that the values are different for all 6. Although I did, when I read that, I did have a moment of, is that really what this means? But that's what I think it means. So these two cells don't sum to very much because we said The maximum of yellow is 29, and the maximum of blue is, sorry, the minimum of yellow, I should say, is 28, and the minimum of blue is 12. So those sum to minimum 40. So these two digits sum to at most 5. So I know they're from 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like a worthwhile thing to mention. Let's see. Oh, 9 in box 2 is placed. That's a good point, Mekti. Because blue with a 9 would sum to 15, but we already proved blue is at most 14 because of column 1. And purple certainly is not part of a 2-cell, or the 2-cell sum certainly doesn't have a 9 in it, and we've got a 9 looking over here. So in fact, that is a 9. And we can bring out Zach for the 9 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Big Z is not yet far enough in his training to do front flips and back flips without potentially injuring himself. He's still learning. The 9 dance is not quite the most advanced dance. That would be the 5 dance, but it is up there in terms of risk to personal safety. Can't go with red in box 5 now. Oh, sorry, in box 5. Because, right. So, yeah, so... Right. That would make the red sum at least 19. That's definitely not going to happen. And so the 9 is in the green stuff in box 5. I agree. Let's see. I don't know a whole lot about the green sum so far. Let's see. I'm going to pull up my little notepad here and just write that this was 12, 13, or 14 for blue. Orange is, or sorry, red is 15 or 16. Yellow is 16 or 17. Let's see. Is that the only things that we know stuff about? That might be the only things that we know stuff about. Oh, no, sorry. Yellow is 28 or 29. Sorry, I wrote the wrong thing. Fortunately, there's a little drag tool, so I can just drag it up there. This was 28 or 29. There we go. Better, better, better. Oops. Okay, yeah, so 16 or 17. Ah, so the other high digit here, can it go in blue? because the other high digit here is at least a 7, it can just barely squeeze in blue. Otherwise, the other high digit in this, in box 2, is going to have to go in purple, which is also a tight squeeze. Because we know the other high digit here has to go in this mess somewhere. And that is it's tricky, but not impossible anywhere, right? Yeah, like for example, if the other digit here is an 8, then one of two things is true. This is a 1-8 pair for purple, or this is an 8-1-2-3 or sorry, an 8-1-2-3 quad for blue. Uh uh okay, so Juan is doing the math here. So this sum is a minimum of 37. Minimum 37. It can't be 36 because there's a 9 in it. So the minimum here is 37, whereas the maximum here is 16. So that means that this sums to at least, I got 26 when I did that. That didn't sound good. What did I do wrong? Okay, so this is at least 37 minus 16. Oh, 37 minus 16 is 21. So this is at least 21. So at least I can't put any numbers bigger than 4 in here, I suppose. Although I guess I already know that there's a 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here, right? Is probably a thing worth recording because I know this sums to 15 or 16. So yeah, this is a minimum of 21. Okay, so this is a minimum of 21 plus 16. Is that big? Not huge. 21 plus 16 is 37. That just says these sum to at most 8, which isn't a huge deduction. Okay, Doomdiad is arguing blue can't actually be 14. I'm trying to follow the logic. Yeah, 17, 14, 14 definitely isn't an option because I can't repeat the 14 as a total. But I don't quite follow the through box 6 argument without but it is true that we need to be careful about these not being the same. We can't have more than 1 15, for example, in this column. So doing 14 plus 28. Is that what's happening? 14 plus 28 is 42. So this would have to be a 1-2 pair. And so, yeah, yellow would certainly be 28. So orange would be 17 because of that. So if blue is 14, orange is 17, and that doesn't work because you get 14 plus 14 is 17. Also, 14 is too small. Yes, because yellow plus orange is 45, Selena. It also breaks not even through column 1, Doomdiad. It also breaks just the fact that it makes red too small, because it makes red less than 15. Although that is quite a chain to make that not work. But I agree that 14 does not work through a heinous chain. I would say, like, it's not just the number of steps in the chain, it's how anti-fun every step in the chain is that makes it sort of stand out. It would not surprise me if that wasn't the intended step. I'm not sure if it does anything immediately. It does mean that now, if this is 17, it means that we can't put the 8 in blue, and we'd have to put exactly an 8 there. So if this is 17, not any problems. If this is 7, 9, then this would now have to be 7, 1, 2, 3 is 13, which is interesting. Okay, I'm trying to understand Selena's point. So box 1 versus box 8 says orange is red plus 1 cell, namely orange is red plus that cell. And box 6 versus box 8 says orange is blue plus 2 cells. I'm not sure where we're getting the rest of this from, though. But I do see Joel's point more easily, which is that if I make orange 16 and I look at this column, then orange 16 certainly makes red 15, and 16, 15 plus 13 is not 45. So the fact that 16 and 15 eats 2 degrees of freedom means that this can't be 16. So this is 17. And so that does now place the 8 there exactly. So that is an 8, and that's a 1, and that's a 9. And so now we know... Oh, we don't actually know yet. Oh, well, now we know. Because of that 9, we now know that red is 15. So that's an 8, and that's a 9. So we do get all of that at least. And so we now know yellow is 28. There we go. Okay, so so we get that. Okay, and so blue is at least 12, so that's still only saying that these sum to at most 5, which we already knew. Red is 15. I don't actually have written in. I can do that. Yes, yellow plus red is, isn't it a 2 actually? Yeah, because yellow plus red is 43 we can now do. So this is a 2. So and now we do know these two. So we actually know blue's value. Blue is now 13 because of column 1, Garion points out. Because once I know these two are 17 and 15, then I know this has to be 13. And so blue is, in fact, 13. Oops, that's not what I wanted, and you know it. There we go. Blue is now officially marked as 13, which means that these actually sum to 4, right? Because 13 plus that. So yeah, so these have to be 1, 3. And now because this is a sum to 15, now these are 1, 3. And these are, by the way, because this is a sum to 15, this needed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so these are 2, 4, 5. And that seems to be a 3 and a 1 in that order, owing to that. Okay. Okay, so this number now, because these three, Nemafish is pointing out, these three sum to 9. This number is at least 6. The only way that works is 6 to 1. Very good. So now our purplage is done. Okay, so these sum to a minimum of 5 because of that 1. So these sum to a maximum of 22. Sorry, a minimum of 22, which means green sums to a maximum of 23. I'm doing Martin's math here. However, if I look at this box, I know that these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's not an 8 or a 9. So this is at minimum 8 plus 9 plus 6, which is 23. So green is 23, which is handy. So in particular, if it's 23, that means that's 6, 8, 9, and that's a 7. That means these two sum to 5, so they have to be 2, 3. Because they can't be 1, 4, owing to that cell. This is also 6, 8, 9, because the only way that you can make 23 and 3 is 6, 8, 9. And so that's the 9. These are the 6, 8. And so that is the 8 and the 6 and the 7 and the 8. Okay, so now I needed an 8, 9 pair in here. And so now I have my 8, 9 pair. Those sum to 17. So these two need to sum to 11. So they need to be either 3, 8 or 4, 7. Depending, or 5, 6. Sorry, 3, 8 is not an option. They need to be either 4, 7 or 5, 6. Is the correct answer. Doomdiat has noted that this is a naked single because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 8, or 9. So this is in fact a 7. I agree with Doomdiat's diagnosis there. So let's see. I know there's a 6 in this cage now just by Sudoku. And so this is 6 and two numbers that sum to 9. And so those numbers can't be 3, 6 or 2, 7. So it's either 1, 8 or 4, 5. But I don't think I know which one it is yet. Yes, and 2 is down here, has been pointed out. So this is 2 and two numbers that add to 11, MacD points out. And so now the only numbers that add to 11 that are left are 4 and 7, right? Because it can't be 5, 6, it can't be 3, 8, and it can't be 2, 9. So this is 2, 4, 7. And I think now that actually makes this forced, because now this is 6 and two numbers that add to 9, and I now can't use 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5, so I have to do 1, 6, 8, which is forced. And so now this is 3, 5, and 9, which indeed seems to add up correctly. So we can fill in, okay, well, this one's not 5 or 3 because of the row. So this one just is 9. So that's 9, 5, and 3. You could tell it's a nasty puzzle because of how, like, all of these things, like, once you realize them, just like fill in all the digits so that you have to you don't have to stress about the Sudoku for too long. That 2, 4, 5 triple means that's an 8 and that's a 4. And so we end up over here. Let's see. Blue is 13. It's not 4, 9. And it's not 6, 7. So it's got to be 5, 8. So these cells have to be 5, 8. We actually know the order, and that places the 8 there. Gets rid of the 8 there, places the 9 there and the 8 there, places the 6 there and the 9 there, and makes this number 2, I believe, which gives me the 3 and the 2 up there. Okay, so now I think I probably would be okay if I just went ahead and hit mark, but probably it's worth thinking at least a little bit about it first. Okay, so those are a 4, 6 pair, so that's a 9. Let's see. Garion knows that this sums to 13 without using a 2, and so it has to be 1, 3, 4, 5. That is good. Okay, and neither of those can be 3. So that is 3. Okay, and so these are a triple because they don't involve 3, 4, or 5. So they're 2, 6, and 7. And so we'll write in these, except these are not 2, 6, or 7. So those are 3, 4, and 5, I suppose. Can fill in this column, and there we grab that 5, 3, 4, 1. 5, 4, 5. And so now I can fill in these two, and so they aren't 7. They are not 7, or they're both 7. You can take your pick. Don't let anyone tell you how to fill your Sudoku grid in. You can fill it in the way you want. That's a 7 and a 9. These are, well, that one's a 7. The rest of them are a mystery to me. Okay, so these still need to sum to 11. And so they still need to be either 5, 6, or 4, 7. And I still don't think I know anything about that. So I'm going to just paint marks all over the rest of the grid and see what happens. So this isn't a 4 or a 5. Okay, and I know that this is not a 2. This is not a 2 or a 3. This can't be a 4 because that can't be a 7. So this is 6 or 7, which means that is not a 6. It's 4 or 5. This is a 2-4 pair. David, Nicholas, Juan point out. So these are not 2, 4. And that's not a 2. So that's 1, 3, and 5. That's a 2-4 pair in the column as well. Means that's not a 2. So we get that. So one of these is a 5 is the point. So if you now look at row 9, one of these two cells is the 5 in row 9. And so if one of those two cells is the 5 in row 9, that's certainly not a 5. So that's a 4 and a 7. 2, 4, 6, 2, 7, 5, 2, 3, 4, 2, 7, 1, 5, 1, 6, 3, 1. That's a 1. Checking to see if any of that resolved. This is a 4. There we go. So that is a 6 and a 4. That's a 2. It's a 5 and a 6 and a 3 and a 6 and a 4. And a 5 and a 3. There we go. Very nice puzzle. As always from M. Nasty. We appreciate the smoothness with which everything sort of fills in. Alrighty. Can you copy paste it? Will it work? No threes in corners. You're a 3 in corner fan. All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll return with some sort of puzzle that you probably can't guess what kind of puzzle it will be. We'll find out. But I'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back, everyone. For those of you who guessed that next up we would do a puzzle with some sort of giant loop in it, you were correct. So this is the Unfrayed 10 Knot by Afraid Knot. So we have a 10-line puzzle. So with one 10-line. So we need to divide this loop into non-overlapping contiguous segments, each of which sum to 10. So I had at some point posed whether it was possible to do this or not, and AFK figured out that it was, and even assured me that the puzzle was humanable. So that is a plus. Yes, AFK has done the U-Bahn part for us by drawing in the loop, and so now we just have to do this. The amount of time I've spent trying to set a 10 lines U-Bahn puzzle is non-zero. So David voted for this one. Oh, excellent. So I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea where we're supposed to start with this. So we know like the first row sums to 45 and this box sums to 45. And I know, of course, 10 lines involve multiples of 10. So like I know, for example, these can't both be borders between 10 sums, which is not amazing. I'm probably prepared to prove that this might not be a 5. Actually, I'm not even, I think, prepared to say that. But yeah, we've got a lot of places where we sort of know that the sum is 45. It occurs to me if we're supposed to like minimize or maximize or something. So I guess maybe one of the points is that it's not just that this row sums to 40. It's that it's very difficult to make a 10 sum in this row without breaking the ability to put the rest of the row in 10 sums. So basically there's 4 high digits and 4 low digits, and so you kind of want to pair them off in this row. In particular, you have to put the 9 with something. Now, the something the 9 goes with could dangle down here. Basically, what I think I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prove that all the 10 lines in row 1 are dominoes. I think is what I'm trying to prove. And I think I'm trying to prove a similar thing for column 1. So the 9 definitely goes in a domino with a 1. The 8 definitely goes in a domino with a 2. Now, again, I'm still leaving open the possibility that the domino is this domino. Now, I can't do 811 because of the shape of the loop. I could normally do 811 on a 10 line, but I can't here. So that's at least 2 dominoes that we know about living in here. Now, what if the 5, if the 5 is sort of in the middle, then we have to do a 5 with 2 lows. And how bad is that for the world? Like if I put a 5, if I make this a 10 sum, that's a 5 and 2 lows. And so like every pair of cells, maybe, it's almost true. Yeah. Every cell or every pair of cells, along a 10 line, that are in the same domino have at most 1 high or 5 in them. So we have that sort of to think about. So like, I don't know, maybe I should just try and like assume that there's a break here and try and see if the puzzle breaks. Because in some fashion. Because the break can't, there aren't that many, there's got to be a break in like some point along these 4 cells. That's a good point from David about the fact that, yeah, so sort of like if I did say put an 8 domino here and a 9 domino here, then now these cells I know sum to 48, which has the problem that it is not very a multiple of 10-ish. So okay, so if a domino does start here, then I know this breaks down completely into dominoes, and that's a 5. Because of our because of the fact that we know the sum is 45, so I need 4 10 dominoes and then a 5 left over. So in that world, I'm just getting a hang of this. That's a 5. Now, I don't love this for box 3, because now these 3 definitely have to sum to, now these 3 have to sum to 10. I can't make 4 cells sum to 10, except now I've used 3 low digits, and that doesn't work because if I now look at this, I need to use a low digit within these two, and now I've used all the low digits, and now I've broken the bank. So basically there's a problem with putting a 5 here, which says that these two are actually in the same tensum, for whatever that is worth. Is 5 and a corner down here a similar problem? Oh, okay, sorry. You want to think about it the other way. You want to think about it this way. Of what if these two don't connect, is what you're saying. If these two don't connect, then now we've got a bunch of dominoes down here. This is a 5. We know we'd have all of this. And so now we'd have that. And now we run into the problem. I don't have enough low digits to fill 4 digits along here. So yes, I agree. So in fact, actually, we have an at least 3-cell tensum. So probably that's going to want to be the... Actually, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't want to be a 5. It certainly can't extend in both directions now. That would not be good. Actually, I don't think it can even extend in either direction. Because if it... Let's just imagine, hypothetically, that it extended in this direction. Now I've used 3 low digits here. So at most, these two are a tensum. I can't use 3 cells anymore. And now I'm out of lows before I have made it down the column. That doesn't work. Every tensum has a low in it unless it's 5, 5. And because of the structure of this puzzle, there can't be 5, 5s anywhere. So we have... this is definitely not the most elegant proof. I think there's an elegant form of the proof, but I have not given it. This is an instance where I was sort of playing around to build intuition and accidentally proved the thing. But probably not in a way that is like completely desirable. But anyway, now we do this. Okay, so David is suggesting, okay, what happens if these are both low? Okay. Will that work? Well, then I know I need one of these to be low. And if I end the tensum there, I need one of these to be low. And then I've consumed all the lows. And I've still got stuff left, right? So I can't actually make these both low, and I can't make these both low, which means that this digit is from 5, 6, 7. And so these are 1, 2, 3, 4 because of that. So that's 1 low. And so now I only get 1 low. So basically, if I now try and make this 3 cells long, I need to use 2 lows. And now I can make at most a domino, and I'm out of lows. So just in terms of counting lows in row 1, that breaks. Let's see. Let me explain it Selena's way as well, which is that if this is longer than 3, then if I look at the row, or sorry, if this is longer than 2, now I've got these 2 cells sum to less than 10. So these 5 cells now sum to less than 17. And now these 7 cells now sum to less than 27. And at that point, I'm broken because 7 cells sum to at least 28. So these are, in fact, dominoes. And exactly the same thing would happen if I did this, where these 3 were the same one. Because, again, I need to get to 45, and I know these sum to at most 9. So I need to get to at least 36 for the rest of it, which means I need to have 3 dominoes here and start more. Yeah, basically, if I did not start a new domino here, the sum would be less than 40. I think that is actually, that is maybe much nicer than my proof that involved triangular numbers and was wrong. But that's what Selena said. And so the same thing works down this column. So we get all of those little divisions. Okay, and so we get those. Okay, so now the 5 is either here or the 5 is here. And 5 here concerns me. Okay, so let me just note, we've used 1, 2, 3, 4 in all of these cells. So I've got a virtual 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. So these numbers are definitely high. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which means that these numbers do have to be low. They're from 1, 2, 3, 4. And so okay. There's an elegant way to do it. Okay, so AFK notes, sorry, not AFK. Garian notes an elegant way to do this, which is to look at this cell and say that this cell has a pair number that it sums to 10 with, and that number can't be in any of these cells. So where is it? It can't be there, so it must be there. And so these two, in fact, they sum to 10. And so in particular, that digit's not a 5, so that digit is a 5, and we get to bring out Zach for the 5 dance. Yes, Garian's point was gorgeous and was a fantastic way of getting at this. And so the same thing happens here, but of course it's a different 10 sum. So we have that. Okay, and so I don't think I know if this continues or not yet. AFK saying I could also use the fact that I know that this sum is 50 and this sum is 45. Right. If this extends, now the point is I've covered the box in at most 4 10 sums, and that doesn't work. So same idea here of that. Okay, so now these are in the same. And again, if this extends, now I've covered the box in at most 4 things, so I can't do that. I need this remainder here, or the world doesn't work. And that remainder is a 5, because I've got all my 10 sums there, which does, by the way, mean this is green. And it also means that this sum continues at least 2 cells more. And it can't continue 3 cells long, because 3 cells would sum to at least 6. So now we've got this. And there's absolutely no way, because both of these are low. So these are low. There's 1 low in these 2 cells. So these 2 need a low. I certainly can't do that. I would need 2 lows. So that doesn't work. So this continues. And in fact, that argument about the lows actually tells me that this digit is high. This digit is low. So that's not the purple. Now, I'll go ahead and mirror some of that down here. So this can't extend because, again, that forces the box to be covered by sums to at most 40. Same deal there. So we actually get our more 10 dominoes, more 5s, and then a 5 sum that must end. So these are, again, both low. Now, I don't think it's a problem if I make these 3 also sum to 10. That would just make these sum to 15. That's probably okay. It's probably not what happens, but it's probably okay. Okay, so I know there's a green digit somewhere along the line. I'm trying to like place green and purple, basically is what I am trying to do. So it's either this is purple or this is purple. This digit is not, or this one's neither green nor purple, for what it's worth. 5 is placed here. That's pretty handy. Okay, so the 5 is placed there. Yeah, I do know, this is what is being pointed out by João, is that there's a 5 in one of these cells somewhere. So that is interesting, because that's going to force, of course, a longer thing. Okay, I do know, let me just go ahead and give this domino a color of yellow. So I know this domino isn't yellow or purple, for what it is worth. Let's see. Okay, so these two, that is a beautiful spot. So Martin has a good point. These two sum to 5. So these two sum to 5, but they're not green plus purple. So these are yellow blue, as these sorts of things. So these are the yellow blue lows. I haven't even marked the blue domino yet, but I know where the blue domino goes in row 1 for sure, because it's definitely there. And so now this is the purple domino in row 1. Okay, and one of these is the green domino. Right. This one's not yellow, and it's not blue, and it's not purple. So this one has to be green, because this one just can't be anything else. It is a naked green domino. So that's the green low. This is the green high. And so now this is the last blue in the box. So this is from 6, 7, 8, 9. It's high. So this is from 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last 1, 2, 3, 4 in the box. That's cute. So I know this is a 10 sum by Sudoku, because this is, by Sudoku, the blue 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't even have to argue about whether this extends or not. It just ends, because I already know that it sums to 10, which is beautiful. So therefore, this is not blue, and therefore this is not yellow. So we've got all of that. This domino now is a naked purple, because if you look at the row, it sees something of every other color, which makes that yellow. Let's see. Yes, it is a very cool step. Okay. So, yes, this is purple. I have not marked this as purple. So I know what colors these are, because I know that the sums to 5 are blue, yellow, and green, purple. So this one has to be blue, yellow, in order to make that work. So we have that. This digit's certainly low, because of this 1, 2, 3, 4 triple. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. I know this isn't purple or blue, so this is certainly green or yellow. I'm not sure I'm prepared to say which yet. Let's see. This domino isn't green, at the very least, is being pointed out. One of these two is green. Okay, I know what colors these are, actually, because they're not green or yellow. So if these aren't green or yellow, these are the purple-blue highs. So these are the green-yellow highs. And so this is green or yellow as well, I suppose. Okay, yes. Okay, I see. Okay, this is what I think Emma was trying to get at that I was not seeing. This domino, it's not green, it's not blue, and it's not yellow. Except I said green when I meant purple. It is green. It's not purple, blue, or yellow. It is green. Okay, so then, yeah, one of these. Okay. Yeah, the low green is either there or there. I feel like I've had this set up in 10 lines puzzles that I was making a whole bunch. The green low is over here, but if it's there, that's fine. That is true. So now, Emma points out, and I think João was pointing this out earlier, this is not blue or yellow, and it's not green or purple. So this domino isn't a domino. So it goes to at least 3 cells, and it certainly doesn't go to 4, because if it goes to 4, then its sum is too big. So in fact, the sum of these 5 cells is known to be 15 because these two sum to 5, and so this is well, it's every flavor of 1, 2, 3, 4. In particular, that's the green 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the 5 and the purple 1, 2, 3, 4. So in particular, that's the purple 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's the purple 1, 2, 3, 4. Which I'll just go ahead and note means that every digit in here, of course, these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. That I already knew. But it also means that this cell is from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this isn't purple, is all I am willing to say at the moment about the nature of reality. Row 7, column 6 does look left, so that means this is 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so there's a purple low on here because I need there to be a low, and that's the only low available. So this could be purple low, purple high, or this cell could be real small. Oh, again, I should mark, aha, this cell. This is a naked purple high because it sees yellow, blue, and green high. So this is a purple high. Let's see if that helps. And so this is a yellow high. So these are blue high and green high. It'll be funny if oh, sorry. This one was green. Got it. Sorry, that one was green. So these are yellow and blue. This digit's definitely low, regardless of what color it is. It's not green, so it's yellow, blue, or purple, I suppose. Right. Okay, yes. So this pair of cells, this is Martin's point, looks at 3 kinds of dominoes over here. It looks at everything except purple. But it's not purple because that cell's not purple. And so this can't be a domino at all. It must extend, and in fact, it has to extend exactly that far. It can't extend any further because then it would sum to more than it's supposed to. Very good spot and very clever setting. So this is not an 8 or a 9. This isn't a 4. This is a 1, 2, or a 3. One of these is definitely a 1. Okay, so I suppose I can mark, although I'm always hesitant to do this, but means green's not 1, 9, I suppose. And now Martin points out the same exact argument chains because it applies, because this also sees all 3 of those and sees the purple. Beautiful. So this comes up here. Okay, now these sum to a minimum of 5 because they don't include a 1. Actually, they can't even sum to 5 because they can't be 2, 3. So they sum to a minimum of 6. So this is certainly at most 4. Now, I don't think I know that this isn't a 4-cell sum yet. Okay, so one of these 2 cells is purple because they can't be the green low, and yellow and blue purple together, yellow and blue lows together sum to 5. So if I will do that if I don't have a purple in one of these cells. So one of these 2 cells is the purple low. Though it's going to prove there has to be a 5 in here, isn't there? Because oh, thank you for subscribing, Joey. Welcome. I hope you enjoy yourself. Enjoy the dancing dinosaur. Okay. That places the purple low in box 8 there. Okay, so this is the purple low. I don't know what it is, but that also places the 5 over here, which indeed proves there's a 5. I was going to prove there is a 5 in these cells in a ridiculous way, but I won't now. So now this is actually at most 3, because this is at minimum 5 plus 2. Okay. It could still be 5, 2, 1, 2, I believe, at the moment. I don't think it is likely to be that, but it still could be that. High purple is placed here by Sudoku. That's going to help. And so now high purple looks up. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is low purple. So we've got a low purple, high purple pair for whatever it is worth. So this low is yellow or blue. For what it's worth. So the low over here would be also yellow or blue unless this extends, and then all bets are off. So we've got that. Let's see. Now at least these 2 go together. I should probably think about the other direction at least a little bit. Okay, so I know while I'm talking about lows, this definitely has a low purple on it. I noted that out loud before, but I don't think I actually placed the low purple or noted it. So there is a low purple. Now there could also be a high purple. Yeah, so this digit's high, Nicholas points out. Can't use it yet, but it could be useful later. Let's see. Okay, there is only one low left in this column. So if I put a border here, as Garian's point, now this digit is forced to be low, and neither of these can be low, and that's a problem. So these always go together. And their sum is at least 6. So they don't go together with that. Because one of these isn't low. And now if this extends up, that's also a problem. Because then I would again only have one low left, so I can't do that. And so now this is a 6, 7, 8, 9 of some sort coming over this way. So this is a low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Do I know what color this is? I certainly know it's not purple or green. So this is yellow or blue is all I know about this domino. This number I know is small. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, if I look at column 4, yeah, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are both low. Of some description. Yeah, this extends right. I sort of did that without doing it. Okay, so yes, that is a good way to say that deduction, Selena. This either joins that or joins this. Both of these already have a number that's at least 5. So this is assuredly 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the last 1, 2, 3, 4 for the row. So these are all from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, that one's not a 5. So this is a 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. For whatever that is worth. Let's see. Row 6, column 5, 2. Right. So this number, right, this is not low. So this is the low. This is the high. Okay, so we've got sort of 3 lows, at least, in this row. Okay. So if there's a 5 here, and sorry, if this doesn't continue, then there's another blue-yellow in here, I guess is the point. Let's see, I do know one of these two is high purple. I don't know how excited I am about that, but it's true. One of these two is high green. I am just saying things that are true. Okay, yeah, one of these two dominoes is green for sure. I guess I know. Yeah, these are a yellow-blue pair. Oh, yes, it has to have a blue-yellow low. That's the point. Okay, yes, AFK has a good point, which is that this is a 5 and a low, and the low's not purple or green. So the low is blue or yellow, but I still don't know. It could be the same low twice. So I still don't actually know that this is a sum to 10. I am sort of missing that, like, these could both be the yellow low with a 5, and then it could extend there or something like that, which would be funny. This digit is high, as Joel points out, because it sees both the blue-yellow lows and the purple-green lows. And the high is blue or yellow. This is the other blue-yellow, which makes a color quad. Good point. And so now these are just both green, for sure, because that's all that's left in the row. Very cool. So we know that these are all yellow or blue. For what that is worth, except for the 5, of course. Let's see. If this extends, this would definitely have... Oh, no, it would not have to be purple-green. If this is a 5, then these have to be purple-green. Which seems okay to me. Okay, the highs left in this column are the green and purple highs. So there's a green high, a purple high, and a 5 in these cells. Yeah, I guess I'm basically just saying the same thing that I could have said otherwise, which is that this is a yellow-blue high. Where is high purple in row 6 has been asked. I think it is in one of those 2 cells. Let's see. Yeah, and I know that so I do have a 3-cell, like this is not a 5-cell sum. So these cells sum to 20, I guess I know. In some weirdo way, right? So if I know that these cells sum to 20, I can actually do some, I think, weird math on thinking about, I know I've got a low purple in here, so I can't, I guess, have a high purple in here. I guess that's not super exciting. But can I, in fact, have... Yeah, I guess I can have a high digit, but that high digit has to not match any of these or something like that. I feel like there's some deduction here using the fact that I can't make like a random 2 of these sum to 10 or I'm going to break things. I think. I'd have to think carefully about it. Yeah, I mean, one of them is a domino. So this is either a purple domino or this is a blue domino or a yellow domino. I guess is maybe a different way to say the same thing or a similar thing, perhaps. Okay, so this is not... Yeah, this is not blue or yellow. So this could be... Yeah, I don't think I can quite get there unless I do a similar argument with like these. I mean, maybe I can do a similar argument with the fact that these 6 cells sum to 20. Right? Yeah, these 6 cells sum to 20. And there's 2 5s in them. So that's quite constraining. But I do get to repeat digits, so keep in mind that that is true. Unfortunately, it annoyingly works out if I say that Oh boy. Brain. Unfortunately, I think it still works out if I do something like that. So let's see. So can I do any sort of like, so there's a 5 and a low. That's a minimum of 6. Plus these is a minimum of 6. So this at least isn't a 9. I can tell you that. That is not a 9. Yeah, 9 is just too big. It could just Doomed Yacht if it's like 5212. So you can make it extend. It can't extend a lot, but it could extend just enough to make these sum to something very tiny. The other blue yellow 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it could no. That's certainly not the blue yellow 6, 7, 8, 9. The greens are not 1, 9, right? I do know the greens aren't 1, 9, and I know the purples aren't 4, 6, right? Yeah, so seems difficult for me to imagine that that's what I'm supposed to be doing, but could be. Oh, right. I can note, actually, these are actually minimum 7 plus minimum 6 is minimum 13. So actually, this isn't an 8 either. Let's see. Row 4, column 4 grows down. What are the low colors? So it couldn't be blue yellow. It couldn't be green purple. So if this grows down, it would have to be like a blue yellow and a green or purple. Row 4, column 4, and row 5, column 4 is green purple. They couldn't form a 10 sum. Row 4, column 5 in it. It is true. These were never going to be a blue-yellow pair because of that. Uh, uh, yes. The other, right. Okay, yes. So, got it. So the point is, these two sum to 10. So, this is either the other blue-yellow, and this is a 10 sum, or this is the other blue-yellow. And those are sort of the two options. So this is never blue or yellow, I guess, is the upshot of all of this. Oh, right. Okay, right. Okay, sorry. I see it now. So if you imagine the world where this extends, then now what colors are these? And so the answer is I can't put a blue or a yellow in either of them. Because that would, again, it would be the blue-yellow that sums to 10 with this. So they would have to be green-purple, because those are the only two lows left, except green and purple sum to 5, and that doesn't work. So we actually get that decomposition. That's very cute. Complicated, but very cute. So this is the other blue-yellow. I don't know which one it is just yet. And so now these are purple-green. And so now this can't be a 5 anymore because we've broken both ways to make a sum to 5, since we know all the ways to make a sum to 5. So that works out. Yes. Okay, so yes. So this cell, João points out, can't be purple because if it was, sorry, can't be green because if it was, then we'd know there's green and we know there's a low purple on this, and green plus low purple sums to 5. We would have an extra 5, but there's already a 5 in the column. Very nice. Okay, so this can't be purple. This is green. Sorry, can't be green. It is purple. Dear Lord. Okay, so then this is the other purple low. I got there eventually. So then this number is even, for sure. And so 2, 4, 6, 8 is what I know based on what purple works out to be. I actually also know the low purple isn't 4, so I know this isn't a 2, just based on previous effort. I also now know this is green. Oh, this I know is purple or green for what it's worth. I don't think I ever marked that. So if this is green, this has to extend. Row 5, column 3 can't be 4? I don't immediately understand why. Yeah, I do know one of these is a 5. Oh, column 3 has its lows already. Once I include that one. So there's already a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. So that's not a 4. Oops. And if that's not a 4, then these are not 3s. So purple actually doesn't have a 3 in it either. So purple is 1 or 2. Well, the purple low is 1 or 2, I should say. So that means the green low, because these sum to 5, this is actually 3 or 4. For whatever that's worth. That's the point. Now these two can't sum to 10. And so therefore this isn't purple, it's green. And now that's the green low, so this actually is the one that extends. Sorry, is the one that extends. Bloop. And so there's certainly no 4 involved here. These are a 1, 2, 3 triple. And so now that's finally going to resolve everything, because now that's a 4, which makes that a 6, which makes these a 1, 3 pair, which makes that a 2, which makes that a 3, 5, which makes this a 1, 2, which makes that a 7. Now we have more work to do. So green everywhere is 4, 6. So that's a 4, a 6, and a 4. A 6, 6 and a 4. 6 and 4, 6 and 4. These are 4, 6, and I don't know the order yet. Therefore, that's a 1. It's a 1. Somehow today, every time I try and hit 1, I hit 4 instead. So that makes that a 9. Those both 1s, that an 8. That a 9 and a 1. Okay, that a 9 and a 1 as well. That a 9. This cell has become an 8 for what it is worth, so that's a 7. These are 2, 3. Let's see. That is 2 or 3. So that's 6. It's not 9 either, because remember, I know that 9 is purple. This isn't 9 either, because I know that 9 is purple. That is the other 2, 3. No. Oh, this is just a 7. So it is blue or yellow. And this is blue or yellow. It's not 1 and it's not 4. That's a 9, so it's purple. That's a 5, so it's a 5. I'm going to put green circles around the 5s for Casey. So we have that, and so that seems to be a 3 if we do some algebra. And 2. So that is 7. And 3. Let's see. Okay, so that is 7. Right. Okay, so this is 7, which means that blue is the one that is 7, 3. So this is blue. This is blue. This is yellow. This is yellow. This is blue. These are blue. These are yellow. So that, I think, gets rid of all of that ambiguous coloring. So that means this is 7 and 3. Oh, that 8 is yellow, by the way. So that's a, oops. That's a 2 and an 8. That's a 1. That's a 2. These are 2, 8, and 3, 7. We've got to be a little bit careful about the coloring here. That's a 3. Let's see. Okay, so this is not a 6 or a 7 or an 8. So this is a 9. So it's purple. So that's a 9. Okay, so this is a 6 or an 8. Okay, so this is not green or purple. So this is, I guess these are both blue or yellow. So the point is this is now yellow, if I just look at it, because it's now not anything but yellow. And so that means these aren't yellow, those are green. And that's green, so that means that's yellow. And this is blue. And so let's see. One of these is high green, and the other... Okay, the other... Where does the yellow go in here? This is the other yellow, because this cell sees both yellows. And so now that's green. Okay, so one of these is a 5. And the other one is a 9. Yep, sure is. Okay, let's see. These are 3, 7 and 2, 8. And I can resolve that because of the 1, 2 pair. So that's an 8 and a 2. It's a 3 and a 7. This digit is something. 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an 8, so it's yellow. So it's yellow. 2 and 8. Let's see. We've got our 3 for the column is placed here. If I just inspect the column, both of those see a 3. So this is a green circle 5. So let's see. So these two cells, I need a yellow that goes there. And this is a... Oh, this is the green circle 5 for this column. And so now this is purple, and this is a green circle 5. And so now when I look at this, yeah, one of these is green and one of them is purple, but I know where the purple is. So then, therefore, by process of elimination, I know where the green is. So then one of these is blue, and I don't know which one yet, but I do know, apparently now, that this is the purple. because it seems to be a 1, which means that this is not the purple, and it is the yellow instead. So this is blue, which is going to resolve that in a second. The other thing I'm missing in this column is the other green. And now that's the other purple for the box. This is the other blue for the box. Okay, and I think now we have actually filled in all of our cells. So that is an 8 and a 2. That is an 8. That is a 6 and a 4 and a 6. That's a 9. That's a 9. It's a 3 and a 1 and a 7. That's a 7 and a 3. That's a 6 and a 4. That's a 6, and I think that's the last digit. That's a 4. Very nice. I quite enjoyed that adventure, especially the by Sudoku these add to 10 was very nice. But overall, very nice all throughout. I was impressed with that construction. Alrighty. I will stretch for just a moment and come back with another puzzle. So see you in a moment. All right, welcome back. So we next up have a Kurobon puzzle called Widdershins, which I believe is a Discworld reference. I think it's like the fourth direction, if I recall correctly, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is a standard rules puzzle, except that the lines overlap because... and I'm not sure if this was a mistake or not, but Sudoku Maker lets you do that. So we will have fun. I was glad this didn't become like a thing that everyone does all the time, but I enjoy occasionally these things. Oh, it's just old Yukish for counterclockwise. I see. Okay. Okay. So we've got our standard line type. So the purple ones are Renbon, so they're a string of consecutive digits in any order. The blues are region sum lines, so these 3 cells sum to the same as those 2 cells. We don't have a 5 equals 2, though, this time, so Selena will be happy. These are German whispers, so we need to stay at least 5 apart as any pair of digits we put along here. And these are entropic, so they need to alternate between 1, 2, 3s, 4, 5, 6s, and 7, 8, 9s in some order. Okay, so the first thing I notice is that in column 9, these cells are interesting because they're an anti-Renbon. And so I definitely can't put a 1 or a 9 on the Renbon, because if I put a 1 on the Renbon, I will wipe out all the lows, and this will be impossible. And if I put a 9 on the Renbon, I'll wipe out all the highs, and this will be impossible. So there's definitely a 1 and a 9 down here at least, owing to this. Of course, there's a 5 on the Renbon, because it is length 5, and setters love to use the fact that length 5 Renbons have a 5. In fact, I believe I've done multiple Kurabon puzzles where that was the conceit, not consent. Consent is good too, but that's a different thing. Let's see. So I've got that now. What if I don't have it, or what if I have a 2 on this? Does that work? So if I do have a 2 on this, then I would have no other lows. So the 1 would go there. These would both be high. That would be the way of the world in that instance. Hey, Kurabon. Hope you're doing well. But it seems to me okay if there's a 2 on this. Now, maybe that would that be a problem for these lines? Because if there's a 2 on this, that means there's a 7, 8, and 9 down here. Is that a problem for my region sum line is my question. So if there's a 2 on the Renbon, now I've said that's a 1, and I've got to put a 7, 8, 9 in each of the remaining spots, because those are the other digits I have. And that's not going to work, I don't believe, because this is going to be so in that instance, this is a 1. These are 7, 8, 9. And these are now summing to a minimum of 5, plus 7 is 12. Whereas these can't possibly, because the 1 having to go there. So that does not work. So there is in fact a 2 down here as well. Now, if I looked at it the other way around, what if I put an 8? Or sorry, what if I put an 8 on the Renbon? That would force a 9 here. And now so then in that instance, this would be a 9, and these cells would be a 1, 2, 3. And so the question is, does that possibly work? And I think that works better in terms of I could make these two sum to something, I think. So I could make this sum to 12, and then 3, 4, 5, or something like that. So I think that one works. But I certainly need a 1 and a 9 and a 2 down here as well. I was checking to see, like, could I really make these 1 and 2? And I think the answer is yes. Okay. Tristan thinks maybe we should work along it this way rather than the other way. The 9 doesn't work there. The 9 in column 6 breaks the region sum line. What? Uh, uh, oh, you're saying 9 over here. Sorry, 9 over here breaks the region sum line. So if this is 9, then if this is 9, then the minimum sum here would be 9 plus 3 plus 4, because these can't be 1 or 2 anymore. So 9 plus 3 plus 4, which is 16. But I can't make these two sum to 16 without a 9. So this is definitely not a 9. Let's see, AFK says this 9 breaks as well. This being 9 also breaks. So that would be 3, 4. Okay, yeah, so... Because I can't make these 3, 4, 5. Because of the Renbon, right? So I guess maybe it's worth center marking this cell, actually. So it's not 9. And this Renbon now definitely, because it's length 5 and it doesn't have a 1, a 2, or a 9, it's from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's only 6 options that it has. And so it has all of the 4 middle ones, which is to say it has 4, 5, 6, and 7 on it. Oops. And so this cell actually can only be 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 8. Those are the only options for this cell. And 8 seems disastrous if this cell is an 8. Because if this cell is an 8, now these cells are a minimum of 3, 4. That's a minimum of 15. I'm certainly not making 2 cells that are adjacent on a whisper sum to 15. Oh, sorry, 3. I missed the 3. I don't know where I missed the 3. Could be 3. But 8 still is not going to work, because if this is an 8 plus 3, 4, that's still minimum. See, and so that is not an 8. So that is a 1, 2, or 3. If it is a 3, then I think these have to be 1, 2. Okay. The minimum sum of this, though, let's just do it, is still 3, 4, 5. The minimum sum is 12, right, for this line, because these are at least... Sorry, no, it's not. It's 8. The minimum sum is 8, because these have to be a minimum of 3, 4, but then this could be a 1 still. Okay. This is actually kind of interesting. Okay, Garion is looking at this confluence of stuff, and noticing that I, of course, have at most 1, 4, 5, 6 here, and at most 1, 4, 5, 6 here. But your Renbon has issues if it doesn't have at least 2, 4, 5, 6s. But also, it's very hard. Like, this can't be a 4, 5, 6 for sure, because it's in the middle of a German whisper line, so it would be next to 2 1s or 9s. this I think could be 4, 5, or 6. Uh, Okay, so like just to mark this for my sanity, 1, 2, 3, that one goes there. 1, 2, 3, that one goes there. Okay, so these are the same. So if these are a low high pair, then these need to be 4, 5, 6, because if they're a low high pair, then I need to put every middle digit on the Renbon, and that doesn't work because I can't. Then I'd put two middle digits next to each other on an entropic line. So one of these is 4, 5, 6, and the only one it can be is that one, because this one definitely isn't. So this is 4, 5, or 6, but it's not a 5 because you can't put a 5 on a German whispers. This is 1 or 9. And now when I come over here, this digit is also from 4, 5, 6. So that is interesting. It's also interesting, this cell can't be 5, I'm noticing, but it can't be that 4, 6 either. Now, I definitely need... Oh, yeah, this isn't 4, 5, 6. So this cell's never 4, 5, or 6. Weirdly, I think. Because I need a... Oh, maybe it could be that one. Sorry, that could be the 4, 5, 6, I think. I'm thinking about the fact that this Renbon needs another 4, 5, or 6 on it. It needs at least 2. 4, 5, 6s, because otherwise you can't get to 5 digits. So if you don't have 2, 4, 5, 6s, then you've got to use 4, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9s, and that's going to be very difficult. That's the way to think about it. Hey, Ron, how are you doing? So either that's 4, 5, or 6, in which case we get a triple in the row, or one of these is 4, 5, and 6, in which case then we've got something kind of interesting here as well. And of course, it could be that there's 3 of them on here, in which case then that's very interesting, because then that one goes exactly there. Which maybe breaks because of something to do with all of the Renbon, I don't know. Okay, but I do know that this is extreme of some sort. Let's see. Oh, right. Definitely at least one of these has to be from 4, 5, 6. Garion is right. Because if it's a high and a low, then I definitely need all of 4, 5, 6 on this Renbon. And I can't have it if these are a high and a low. Because if these are a high and a low, then, well, there's only 2 spots for 4, 5, 6s. So one of these is a 4, 5, 6. That is true. So this in particular is not. This is not 4, 5, 6. And one of these is definitely a 4, 5, 6, which is kind of intriguing with everything going on with this Renbon. Okay. Where is this 1, 9 in row 2 is an interesting question, because I know it doesn't go there. So if this 1, 9 in row 2 isn't on this Renbon, it's exactly there, which is suspicious. That's true. Okay, so Garion makes another good spot. Because one of these is midly, one of these is midly, where are the two midly digits in this box? I can't put them... Am I 100%? Oh, right, yeah, because the 4, 5, 6s look down here, right? So I have two 4, 5, 6s in here. Sorry, I have 3, 4, 5, 6s in there. I have all of them. I have two 4, 5, 6s in here. Those digits, where do they go in box 9? They go there. I feel like I explained that terribly, but these are from 4, 5, 6 because I certainly can't make that a 4, 5, or a 6, and it's the 2 that went over here. Okay, so these, yeah, I know these can't be 4, 9. So these sum to at most 12. If it's 3, 9. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I should go about mathing this, but maybe I should think about like that instead or something. We have a similar deal over here, where if these are a high-low pair, yeah, maybe the point is that these two are going to force a medium digit here, because if these are a high-low pair, then these are 4, 5, 6. Is it wrong if these are 4, 5, 6? Sounds like I'm asking a moral question. Because that would be very big if the answer was that one of these two has to be 4, 5, 6. So, I mean, if this is 4, 5, 6, it definitely gives me a triple in the column. It would mean this one was exactly there. Otherwise, these are 3, 7. Oh, right. Yes, of course this can't be 4, 5, 6 because I know where the 1 and 9 are. Right. The 1 and 9. Okay, so this was sort of like the really elegant way was to say immediately 1 and 9 are down here. So this can't be 4 or 6. That can't be 4 or 6. So therefore this is 4, 5, 6. And these are therefore a high and a low. And so these are therefore 4, 5, 6. That would have been, I think that would have been the break-in in 6 seconds if we'd have set it. Oh, right. But the one is still available if that's the one. Sorry, I got a little excited there because of it's not these 3 cells. That could possibly be a 1. If that can't be a 1, then everything we just said is true. Now I kind of think that this is going to have, I think it's going to have to be that that's a 6 and that's a 1 because it will force so much. Would put 2 highs over there. Yeah, definitely no 4 here. I agree with that. Yes, okay, so can of course play a similar game here of if neither of these is midly, then these are 4, 5, 6. Which of course certainly can't happen simultaneously with these being 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I said that wrong. If these are a high and a low, then these are 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I picked the I confused my two line types. If these are a high and a low, then these are 4, 5, 6, because these would be 3, 7 in that universe. Let's see. I know that one of these is middling. Still need at least one more middle digit. I do keep looking at the fact that this whole Renbon sees this cell, so these two Renbons aren't the same, and trying to decide if I can figure out something to do with that. I do agree, row 9, column 8 is not middling. So yeah, this is extreme of some type. How extreme, that is up for debate. Yeah, I agree this is not middling. Because yeah, we do have, these are the two that are here. And so the last 4, 5, 6 is in one of those cells. It could be that one. It's exactly a 6, and that's a 1. Which would make that a 1. Let's see. Can I pass this along any other? Because the observation about like these things being either 3, 7 or containing a middle digit seems very useful. Doesn't this have to be high? Can you explain why it would have to be high? No, we don't know. We only know that yellow contains 1, 2, and 9. Yellow is my like marking across boxes notation. Let's see. I know these cells aren't 5. I know at least that 4, 5, 6 isn't in those cells. One of these 4, 5, 6s ends up over there. Column 4 and run on column 5. Let's see if this is a 3. Okay, yeah, so if this is a 3, that means neither of these is middling because 1 and 2 are gone. So that means these are 3, 7, 4, 5, 6. in that universe. Oh, but now there's no low digit here. Right, one of these is low. And it's not in that universe. Well, I guess it's never 4, right? There's a 1, 2, 3 in one of these two cells. So assuredly, one of these is 1, 2, 3 because of the lack of a 9. So one of these two is 1, 2, 3, I guess, which means that which means anyway, that can't be a 3, because if that is a 3, it forces these to not be able to be 1, 2, 3. Because they can't be one. If this is a 3, those can't be 1 or 2, and I use the 3 over there in a weird combination of stuff. So this is a 1 or a 2 for sure. I agree. And I know one of these is low, which means I at least know that this Renbon has a 3 and a 4 on it. And so if it's got a 3 and a 4 on it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the highest digit that this Renbon can have on it. And I don't think it can have 1 on it, because if it has 1 on it, that's saying that something bizarre has happened, I think, because of this this German whispers. I think. Actually, maybe that would have to be low. That would be low, and this low would go there. Oh, except the 1 couldn't go there. Yeah, maybe I'm not quite prepared to prove that it can't be or can't have a 1 on it. But it certainly at least has 3, 4, 5 are now on it for sure. Now, either this is the other 1, 2, or there's a 3 in here, which would be kind of interesting. Let's see. So like this cell's medium restricted, I suppose. Okay. Well, I guess I know. Maybe I should mark this. I know one of these two is low. So therefore I know this cell's not low. So I can at least mark that this cell I know is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's something. Yes. If I put a 3 here, that's a big problem. Because if I put a 3 in one of those cells, now I've again made it so there's no low digit that can go here. So these cells are never 3. So the other 1, 2 is in here, is Garian's point. So this cell's not 1 or 2. Isn't it true, though? Oh, no, it's not true because of that cell. No, never mind. Sorry, I'm wrong. We have the concept of a digit, exactly. We've thought about digits. Uh, uh, yeah, like this digit can't be a handful of things. Uh, Still, though, like we have like two very constrained worlds. Either these are exactly 3-7 and these are exactly 4-5-6, or this is exactly a 6 and that's exactly a 1 and that's a 1. Yes, I agree there's a 1 or a 2 here, because I can't use a 3 or a 4 in either of these two cells because of the aforementioned notice that yeah, so one of these is a 1 or a 2. I don't have a great way to pencil mark that, but I agree that one of these is a 1 or a 2. Uh, if this is middling, then these are 3-7, these are 4-5-6. And then we'll have used every middling digit, or we'll have used every middling digit in the row. And we'll be left with 1, 2, 8, 9, but that seems fine. Uh, uh, if there's a 1 on this, do I have a problem putting high digits in row 9? Kind of feels like I do. Uh, uh, I guess I can just get away with like sticking them in like these sorts of places. And then like I can get, I guess, 2 on the whisper if I try really hard. Uh, okay, so I think Mekti has a conclusion, which is that if this is a 4, it means that 3 of these are low. Uh, and so therefore this would need to be a minimum of 2, 5, 6, which is 13. Sorry, not 2, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, which is 12. Whereas the maximum of these would in that universe be 3, 8 is 11. 3, 8 is 11 sounds right. So this would be min 12, it would be max 11. So this can't be a 4. Okay, so I agree with that. So this is a 6. We will bring out Big Z for his 6y dance. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wop, 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 wop. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wop, 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 wop. Thank you, Big Z. His first 6y dance, I believe, on stream. Of course, he's practiced plenty off stream. That is a 1. Okay, so that's a 1, 2, or a 3. That's a 4 or a 6. That's not a 6. Okay, so this is 2, 3. Sorry, this is 2 or 3 only. These are both 7, 8, 9. These aren't 1 for sure. They're not 6 either. Let's see. Okay, so that seems good. Okay, so this Renbon does not necessarily need to have a 6, but if it has a 6, the 6 goes exactly there. And then there's a 4 or a 5. Then that's the other 4, 5. Uh, hmm. I was looking at that earlier. Has this enlightened me in some way about that? Uh, 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 Renbon needs a 1 or 6. Is it most 7? Because these sum to a minimum of 5. And these sum to a maximum of 12. So yeah, so this is at most 7. I agree with that, and it's not 1 or 6. Let's see. See, if this is 7, it breaks the region sum line. It would be 7, 2, which is 9. And then this can't be 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah. So if this is 7, 2, the minimum of this is now 3, 4, 5. That's way too big. So this is not a 7. 2 here breaks. If this is a 2, then these are now minimum 12, and I can't get to 12, right? So this has to be a 3. That's a good point. Because if this were a 2, again, now it bumps up the minimum there way too high. So this is a 3. That's not a 7. So these aren't a 3. And so this is either 3, 8 or 3, 9. So, okay, so there's no way there's a 7 down here because the maximum sum here is 12, right? So a 7 down here would be a minimum of 13. So no 7. So the 7 is there for what it's worth. These are 2, 4, 5. So now this is not 2, 4, or 5, of course. 2, 4, 5 is 11. So that just makes that an 8, not a 9, funnily enough. So no 9 there. Okay, so we were contemplating the world where this was exactly 4, 5, 6 earlier. I don't quite know what to do with that at the moment. I think this is probably never a 7 for what it's worth. Okay. I see. Okay, I see Kurabon's point now. Wow, that's sneaky. That's incredibly sneaky. So the point is, if these are 1, 6, then 1/6s look at this renbon of length 5 from both directions. And so this renbon would have no 1 or 6 on it. That doesn't possibly work. Okay, that is very, very nice to see once you sort of see that, yeah, these can't both be 1/6 because they'll break this renbon. So in particular, this is never 6, which means that neither of these is high. Or sorry, neither of these is middling, which means, as we said before, these two have to be 3, 7 exactly. Which does mean these have to be 4, 5, and 6. So that's a 2. No 6 goes there. No 2 goes there. Okay, of course, this isn't going to be 7 anymore. Let's see. Okay, and so this is going to be mid, so it's going to be 4 or 5. So that's a 4, 5 pair in the row. I guess that's not a huge surprise. Okay, we've got 8 and 9 left to go. And we've got 1 and 2 left to go. I know that the 2 in row 9 is over here somewhere, for what it's worth. It's not hugely helpful. I mean, it tells me this cell isn't a 1. Okay. Garian's saying these two cells, one of them is an 8. Because there is no 6, no 7, and no 9 in them. So one of these is an 8. And so these are from 1 to 8. But one of them is an 8. For what it's worth. And so that gives me a sort of virtual combination of the 1, 2s. So if that's the 8, then that's the 9. If that's the 8 and that's the 9, then this sum's pretty small. Yes. Okay. So 7, Nicholas points out now, is very, very interesting because I know there's a 7 on this renbon we proved earlier. So none of those are 7. So one of these two cells exactly is a 7, which does look up here for what it's worth. Okay. So now the only way this works is if this is a high, is if it's exactly an 8, which would have ramifications for the renbon below it. That is true. So I can write these as 4, 5, 6, 7 because the other digit is the 4, 5, 6 up there. Column 9's renbon now has an 8. There we go. Okay, so Todd has it. Yeah, the 8 in column 9 now must be on the renbon. So I can now actually just write out what the renbon is. Namely, the renbon is, sorry, center mark 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So no 7, no 6. And so that means that indeed the only high left in the column is 9, so it has to go there. And so these are 1, 2, 3, except the 3 looks down there, so that is the 3. This is the 1, 2, that's the 8. This is the other 1, 2. 9. Okay, I can get rid of the corner marked 1, 2s, and I can actually get rid of the yellow now because the yellow is no longer doing anything. And so the last digit in the row is a 9. I know this 4, 5, 6 is... Oh, I don't necessarily know that, sorry. Yeah, the 8 here places the 7 there and the 3 there. Okay. Good. All right. If either of these have a low digit, then that low digit is 1. Otherwise, neither of these is a low digit, in which case one of these is, and that has more options to it, I believe. Okay, if this Renbon has a 3 on it at all, it's over there. Otherwise, it's very restricted, of course. Let's see. I do have a virtual 1, 2, 3 triple in this column. So if I have a virtual 1, 2, 3 triple, that means the rest of these are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, I just know the last 1, 2 is in those cells somewhere. I was hoping that would do something, but oh, I didn't actually mark that cell. See, Garian says this Renbon doesn't have any high digits anymore. Are you saying this digit can't be 6? High is in 7, 8, 9, right? So, right, because the biggest that this can get now is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So the 1, 2 means the biggest this can get is 6. So neither of these are high, which means that digit definitely is high. Is Garian's point. Oops. And so one of these is an 8. Okay, where's the 9 in the column now? The 9 in the column now is there, right? Because I can't put any 9s anywhere on this entropic line. Yes, now 9 in row 2 is the high digit here. I guess I never actually marked that I knew that this digit was high, but I did know that digit was high. Let's see, I know one of those is an 8. I can get rid of this business because it kind of looks like I'm suggesting something that I'm not actually suggesting. Okay. There's an 8 in this row somewhere. So 3 in one of these two cells is not too exciting. Yeah, we do have a 2 in one of these two cells for what it's worth. Right. This Renbon now definitely has a 4 and a 5, and so this cell can't be 4 or 5. Because it sees the whole Renbon. I know that, but do I know that's not the 1, 2 Kurabon? And then the renbon could be whatever it wants. I admit, Guru, I can't think about this at this particular moment. Okay, this I know is not middling. Maybe I should do that. This is not middling, so this is not middling. So these are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And this one's not 2, 3, or 9, actually. That one's not 3. So if this is low, it's exactly a 1. Yeah, so one of these is middling, for what it's worth. Oh, that's clever. Okay, so Selena points out these two have the same high mid lowity, and it's not low because both of these independently can't be 3, so they'd be a 1, 2 triple in the row. So these are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for what it is worth. That one's not 6, 8, or 9. That one's not 8. So this one's never 7 either, for what it's worth. Because if it was 7, it would make this a 4 or a 5, and that's not going to work. So these are either a 4... Oh, I guess, sorry, they don't have to be a 4-5 pair, but could be a 7-9 pair. But if this is a 9, that seems really tough to me. Because if this is a 9, then that has to be an 8, because this renbon now has to be very high. Oh, yeah, that just doesn't work. Because this isn't... Right, if this is a 9, this is a 1 or a 2. That doesn't work. Those are way too far apart. Yeah, because if this is high, this can't be high. So as soon as this is high, then this is a 1 or a 2. That doesn't work at all. So this is not 9, which means that's not 7. So these are both middling. So this isn't middling. And it's not 2, 3, or 7. I am reliably informed. Okay. So neither of these can be low, is Garian's point. So therefore, this one has to be low. So that one's a 1 or a 2. And again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the largest digit that can go on here without a 1 or a 2. So that's not a 7. Uh-oh. I broke it. Oh, no, sorry, I did not break it. That's not on the entropic line. Garian had a different point. Oh, it was only true if in the world where this was a length 3 entropic line. Yes, this cell's just not on the entropic line at all. I hallucinated this cell onto the entropic line. That is what I did. Okay, so Garian's point is now these are 7 or 6, 7 are low and high. Aren't they low and mid? So there's only one spot for a 3 on it. Yeah, so the right. So one of these is low just because that's not. And so if one of these is low, that means this length 5 renbon definitely has a 3. The 3 isn't down here, so one of these two is a 3, and it's that one. And so this one's low, and it is now a naked 2, actually, which now makes that a 1. So these are indeed 3, 4, 5. That one's not a 3, though. Okay, so the 3 is actually placed on this renbon as well. So 1 and a 2 over there. Makes that a 1. Okay, so these two now add to 11. Because those two now add to 12. So these are, well, 4, 7, or 5, 6. Hooray. This is 4, 5, or 6 for what it's worth, because it's mid. That one has indeed done some looking down. Okay, and so this is high now, so now this isn't high. So now it's 2. And so we've got that. So that 2 means that's low, so that is a 1. It always turns out that way, doesn't it? They never trust me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, can't put a 7 with it. That would be too high. It's plausible one of these could be a 1. But anyway, they're from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the 3 is placed, though. There's definitely a 3, and it can only go there. It might also be the last 3 in the puzzle. It's not the last 3 in the puzzle. There's a handful more, but I don't think any of the remaining ones are interesting. Okay. So we've got all of that. So anyway, so we know that my 8 in this box now is placed there. The 9 in this box is in one of these 2 cells, I'm at least confident in saying. These don't sum to 17 for what it's worth. So if this is a 9, I guess then they'd sum to like 13 or something. Maybe it's okay. The 7 in this box is definitely in this column. And so that places the 7 here in this column. So that's not a 7. I know that 4, 5 is in one of these 2 cells. Row 2 column 8 is a naked 7. Can that possibly be true? Okay, it's not. Yeah, so if I just look at the row, what is left in the row? Oops. And keep in mind, not 4 or 5. So yes, indeed, this is a naked 7 somehow. Where does it see a 2? Oh, there's the 2, there's the 3, there's the 4, 5 pair, there's the 6. There's the 9, and there's the 8. Wow, yeah, that is a naked 7 if I've ever seen one. Which means that, yeah, the 7 is down here with the 4 and 5, so there's no 6. I guess I could have said that also by saying that there's a 6 in one of these cells, because these are just a pair now of 1 and 3, I believe. And that is the 3, and that's the 1 in that pair. So now I think we can place more of the 3. Oh, maybe I don't actually know which of those is the 3. Yes, the satisfaction when your puzzle solves nicely is very nice, Chip. Nicholas points out these 2 add to 11, and we ruled out 6. So therefore it's not 5 and 6, it's 4 and 7. So those aren't 4. That one is 4. So that's 5. None of these are 4. That is not a 5. Okay, that's not a 5. So one of these 2 is a 5, just because Renbon things. Renbon machine go burr or whatever. Okay, 3 I can get up to 7. But these actually, okay, so now these are actually quite small. Because they're at absolute maximum 7, right? Because there's a 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are never larger than 7. And they're not 1, 2, or 3, apparently. That one's not even a 7. Actually, neither of them is a 7. Sorry, they're not any bigger than 6. Which is quite interesting. So now the maximum sum here is 11. And I say that's interesting because it means this definitely can't be a 9. And if that definitely can't be a 9, that makes that a 9 and that a 7. And so it is true. This is a 4, 5, 6 triple. So that's an 8. And in particular, one of these is a 6. So that's not a 6, it's a 5. And now, in fact, these are a 4, 6 pair. That's a 9. That's a 5. And my 4, 6 pair means the sum is 10. So I am trying to write down numbers here that sum to 7. So they can't be 3, 4. So they are 1, 6, regardless of how I do it. It's kind of silly. So that's a 4 and that's a 6. And in fact, that's a 6 and that's a 1. That's a 4, 5 pair looking up at a 6, which gives me a 5 and a 6 and a 4 and a 7. Gives me a 5 and a 7 and a 6 and a 4. A 5 and a 4 over there. A 5 and a 4 and a 5. And just like that, all of our clues are filled in. And we get to mark the rest of the grid. 2, 6, 9, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 3, 7, 8, 9, 4, 2, 8, 3, 4, and 5. Very nice. The 1, 6 thing was really tricky, but I liked the way that once I understood it, I appreciated the art of the 1, 6 looking at the length 5 renbon. Very nice setting overall, and the all length 5 lines that sort of wrap around each other in this very specific pattern is very nice. Alrighty, I do think that we're going to wrap up stream there for the day, though. So thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out on this rare U-Bonless stream. Don't worry, we'll get some extra U-Bonds next time. But anyway, thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Do please give me a thumbs up on the stream if you have not yet done so today. Greatly appreciate it. The like button, as always, it helps the YouTube algorithm help new subscribers. We've got a few new subscribers today, so welcome new subscribers. I hope you stuck around. Kurabon has been a fan for 26 months now. Let's get Kurabon has renewed their membership, and next stream will be 300. Let's get Kurabon a fan dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you, Kurabon. Thank you, Zach. And I see that Kurabon has Renbon as their avatar. Apologies if I had not noticed that they had a Renbon puzzle as their avatar for a long time, but I feel like that is a fantastic fantastic choice. And yeah, we'll do some sort of celebration soon. The 300 snuck up on me, so you still have a Renbon black dot puzzle I haven't solved? There's no way, right? That's true? Oh my god. Well, we will have to do that at some point soon. I did end up making a Renbon black dot puzzle for the Kadoku pillar thing that Memerister was doing for, I think, vaguely related to Sudoku-Con. I don't know. I set it at an hour, but I found it very cute. If anyone makes it, I don't know that anyone will make it to puzzle like 140 or whatever in the Kadoku pillar. But anyway, if you do successfully make it to puzzle however many hundreds of puzzles in there I think you will enjoy the cute Renbon black dot puzzle if you like Renbon and black dots as much as I do. Anyway, last but not least, if you want to support the stream, like Kurabon just did, you can always do that by becoming a member, which you can do in various ways depending on what exactly your YouTube looks like. In most versions, it's like you click the $ thing. Be warned, as always, that if you're on iOS, Apple may not let you, but you can do it on a computer. I greatly appreciate all of you who do that. You can see all the names of everyone on our Be Right Back screen and everything else like that. So, last but not least, thank you to all the turbines, Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and DDX. Big thank you, and I'll see you next time for stream 300, which will be on Sunday. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.